Hey everyone, so finally I'm making this video on the process of adoption. This video is going to be a little elaborative but very informative and helpful. I request all of you to please listen to this carefully, jot it down and share as much as you can. So this is going to be divided into 4 parts: eligibility for adoption, process of adoption, fee structure and lastly conclusion. So starting with the eligibility of adoption, who can adopt? A married couple of with 2 years of stable relationship, irrespective of the fact they have a child, biological or adopted, can adopt. Single parents can adopt. Single females can adopt a child of any of the genders, whereas single fathers can only adopt a male child. There is no financial bar or religious bar, so anybody from any caste, creed, race, religion can register for adoption. Third, the prospective adoptive parents' age will be calculated from the date they register. So your age will be the deciding factor of what age of the child you will be able to adopt. So if the composite age of both the spouses is 90 years, you are eligible to adopt a child between 0 to 4, the maximum for the single parent being 45 years. If the composite age of the spouses is 100 years, you are eligible to adopt a child between 4 to 8 years. For the single parent, the maximum age being 50 years. If the composite age of the married couples is 110 years, they can be eligible to adopt a child between 8 to 18 years, the maximum for single parent being 55 years. Then the difference between the adoptive parents and the adoptive child should be at least of 25 years. Families who already have 3 or more children in their home are also eligible to adopt, but they can only adopt a special need child. To understand about the categories of special need child, please go to the schedule section and open schedule 18 to have much better clarity for it. Now I begin with the process of adoption. So the first thing that you have to do is register on www.cara.nic.in. You will have to fill up an application form as per schedule 6. Now there are certain questions which are very important when you fill up the form. First, the gender of the child can be male, female or no choice. Second, the moment you apply your date of birth, your age will be calculated, and depending upon the age, you will be able to choose the age of the child. So for example, if the composite age of the parents is 75 years, as I mentioned, till 90 you are eligible to adopt a child between 0 to 4. So you will get the option of 0 to 2 years, 2 to 4 years. So you are eligible to adopt a child between 0 to 4. Third is you have to choose an agency which is nearby your residence so that they can come and do the home verification part. So you need to understand you have to choose an agency nearby to your residence, so it becomes easy for them also and you also to communicate with each other. Lastly, there are 3 state preferences that you have to choose. So it is not necessary that if you're putting up in certain state, you are only eligible to adopt from that state. So if firstly, for example, if you're staying in Delhi, you can put the first preference as Delhi and the next 2 preferences as any of your choice. So just in case if Delhi has no availability at that time, you can adopt a child from any of the other 2 preferred states. Once you fill the application form, you will have 1 month of time to upload your documents. So the documents that you will upload is also as per schedule 6. Please go through the schedules. I'm not going deeper into it. You can see the schedules and you'll understand it. So once your documents are uploaded, only then your registration will be considered as completed, and then only your waiting time starts. So the moment your documents are uploaded, the concerned agency whom you choose for your home study will get a notification that this particular family has been registered now. So the social worker of that SA is going to check these documents, verify it from your application form and then go ahead. Social worker moves your application form in the waiting list, and then the concerned social worker calls you to schedule a date and time for the home study. So a home study is very important aspect of adoption. So for the home study, there is a format which is as per schedule 7. It has 2 parts, part 1 and 2. Part 1 has to be filled by PAPs, which is prospective adoptive parents, and the second part has to be filled by the social workers. The entire report gets uploaded on the Cara website, and once it gets uploaded, you get a seniority number. So once it gets uploaded, you'll get a notification from Cara. So for everything, you are going to get an intimation through message and through emails as well. After your home study gets uploaded, there is a waiting time. So then starts your actual waiting time, which sometimes lasts to a year or year and a half. Please understand that adoption is a time-taking process, and in my previous video I've already explained why it takes so much of time for children to be to get adopted. So once your waiting time gets over, Kara is going to show you the referral of the child as per the criteria that you have filled. So for example, the first preferred state was Delhi, and I have applied for a female child between 0 to 2. So if there is any child who is legally free from the state of Delhi, you will get the notification, the referral of that child online. But just in case, if for example, if the first state Delhi does not has any availability and the second state that you chose is Punjab, then you might get a child from Punjab as well. So the first thing that you have to do is, the moment you get this notification, go online using your ID and password. On the left side you will see an option of reserve a child. Click that option, you will see the referral of the child. Now that referral contains the photograph of the child, the MER medical examination report as per schedule 3, CSR child study report as per schedule 2, as mentioned in my previous video. So you have to read those reports and reserve that child online within 48 hours of getting that notification. So suppose if you get this notification today, you have 48 hours to reserve that child. Now just in case if you already have gotten the referral but you're not able to understand or read anything carefully, please understand, contact the agency or do not reserve the child. Just don't reserve the child. So after 48 hours, that child automatically goes from your portal and is shown to some other family. After 3 months, after 90 days, you will get another referral, the second referral. Similarly, you will get a message, you have to go online. But just in case, if for the second child also, if you are not ready to reserve that child, you do not reserve the child, you'll get a third referral again after 90 days. And if you don't reserve the third child also, understand you will come down to the waiting list. And that also, there are high chances of the home study to get expired, because the validity of home study is for 3 years. So there are high chances that your home study might get expired if you reject 3 times for a child. Now just in case, if you reserve that first referral that you get, if you reserve the child, you will have 20 days of time to physically go there and meet the child personally. So for example, if you reserve the child today, call the agency people from where you have reserved it, tell them that we are so and so and we have reserved this child, we want to come and meet the child. So they will fix the date and time for your visit. You make sure that do not just go ahead and give a surprise visit. No agency is going to entertain you at all. Everything has to be fixed, every date, time has to be planned. You have to carry certain documents with you. So the list of documents is as per schedule 9. Please go through this. Otherwise, the agency will also let you know. So the moment you go, the first day when you will go there to the agency, there is an adoption committee meeting which is held. There are certain members who have to be there in the meeting, and it is very important for all of them to be present there. They will assess you. Once they are satisfied, they are going to show you the child that you have reserved. Now understand, we agencies also get the medical tests done as per schedule 4. But in case if a family wants to get the child medically examined for their satisfaction, you are most welcome to do it. After the medical checkup is done, you can give your approval and take the child. So in that 20 days of time, you can bring the child to your home. But understand, the child will not be legally yours till then. That time frame is known as pre-adoption foster care. So there is a pre-adoption foster care affidavit that you also have to submit. So in that affidavit, if you see, there is a line which says old name and new name. So old name is the name that the agencies give to the children, and new name is the name that if you want to change the name of the child. So before taking the child, before adopting the child in that 20 days of time, against that affidavit you get the child. So once you bring the child, once you adopt the child, you can bring the child to your home. The documents that you submit to the agency will then be given to the lawyer. Lawyer files petition. Once the petition is filed, the judge gives a date for the evidence record. The date is being conveyed to you by the lawyer. The lawyer will tell you that this is the date when you have to be there in the presence of judge. So you, along with your child, have to be there at the date of evidence record. So once a judge meets you and once a judge is satisfied, he or she passes orders. Once the order is passed, you will get a court order which says that now this particular child is legally yours. So from that day, the child becomes your legal child. So the name that you change will also be there in the court order. Child named so and so, now named as. So that will happen. So once you receive the court order, the concerned adoption agency from who did your home study will prepare the birth certificate of the child. The birth certificate is then prepared, and once the birth certificate is prepared, they will come to know that yes, the name of the child has been changed. So after the court order is received, your legal process is completed. Now in that 20 days of time, when you bring the child back to your home, there is going to be a follow-up that has to be done, which is done by the agency who does your home study. Because suppose if you are staying in Delhi and your home study is done by people from Delhi, then they will be the one who will be coming for doing the follow-up. So follow-up is for 2 years on every 6 months basis, which means total 4 visits are to be done. Now this is the entire adoption process. Also, I missed out one thing in the birth certificate which I shared. It's not the home study agency that does the birth certificate, it's the agency from where you adopted. So that was a minor mistake I made. Please understand, birth certificate is made from the same agency from where you adopt the child, right? Now comes the fee structure. So there is no fees for the registration, so it is absolutely free of cost. Second is the home study fees, which is of rupees 6,000. Now this fees that you give is given in the name of the agency. Now you can give them a check, a demand draft, or online transaction. So if you are giving the check or demand draft to the social worker, it has to be given in the name of the organization and not the social worker. So 6,000 is the home study fees. Then is the adoption fees, which is 40,000 rupees. So 40,000 rupees also includes the lawyer's fees. So in that 40,000, the lawyer's fees is also included, and you do not have to pay separately to the lawyer. Then is the follow-up fees, which is 2,000 rupees per visit, making it total 8,000. So this is the overall fees. Now additional, suppose as I mentioned before that your home study is valid for 3 years. Now just in case if your home study gets expired and then there is a revalidation done, so for the revalidation also there is another 6,000 that you have to give. So you cannot say that 3 years back we have already paid for the home study. No, if it has expired, you have to pay it again. Similarly, within 3 years, till the time your home study is valid, just in case there is any kind of update that has to be done. For example, if you've moved out to some other location, or suppose your occupation has changed, then in that case, you have to pay 2,000 rupees for the visit. This is the overall fee structure. Now, lastly, I would like to mention that most of us feel that it is not necessary for the children to come to know about the fact that he or she is an adopted child. But guys, please understand, it is important for the families to share this to the child. Please make sure all the kids whom you are adopting or you are planning to adopt should be aware of this fact that he or she is adopted. Make sure the child is being told as early as possible, and do not wait for a certain age. It should always come from the parents and not from a third person. You have to decide how are you going to share, but please do not hide this fact from the child. This is my earnest request from all of you. Second, many of us unintentionally, as kids or maybe today, have taunt or prank our siblings or friends that tu adopted hai, tujhe koodadan se uthaya hai. Please refrain yourselves from saying all of this, because this is a harsh reality of many of the children, and unintentionally you might hurt someone. So I'm sure all of you would have children, or some of you might plan children, and none of us would like to our kids to face the same problem. So this is just a small request to please aware about it. This is the entire process of adoption. In case if you have any queries, please DM to me. I'll be more than happy to answer. In case if I find that there are certain DMs which are almost similar questions, I will try to answer it in the form of videos itself. So till then, please take care and stay safe.